ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 3 of For the Record podcast. I'm your host, Rhoni, and
I am Danielle.
So this is episode 3. We're already 3 episodes in. I was like, oh, we're going to be one and done.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, what if we don't hit the 5-person view count?
That is true. I haven't looked at the analytics yet.
You know what? No, I had at least like 5 people reach out to me. So
okay,
I
so
counted.
we got 5.
I prompted 4 of them, but 5 people said it was good.
One could be me. So I've been listening to our stuff over and over again.
I don't know what the view count is, but
well, we have to look at the view count too. So, but this is episode number 3, and we're back again, just talking about weddings and why we love it. And what is the topic today?
Tips and tricks, I think. Just like we'll just go over an overview and see how far we get.
Got it. So like basically talk about the entire day and what we think, little things that could be changed, that could be moved around, that makes the experience even better. Yeah. And I think we could talk about each tip and
trick
forever in detail too. I guess Absolutely. We'll do that in later episodes.
I'm going to pause and tell everyone you look like Big Bird today. Barney last week or the week before, Big Bird. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
For those of you listening, I'm going to paint a picture. It's what you think. Yeah, it's what you think.
It is exactly what you think it is. Oh man, listen, I don't pick the costumes. It just comes to me when I open the closet.
Just jumps out at you.
Jumps out at me.
Magic carpet.
100%.
Okay. Mine's whatever's clean. We gotta stop recording these like video because I'm running out of outfits. Yeah.
We gotta imagine like there'll be the same type of outfits every other week for me.
You know what?
Because I have the same t-shirts, 6 of them.
Well, I'm about 2 more weeks, guys, and I'm gonna be in pajamas with my like morning hair.
See, I think that'd be cool too. We just show up in pajamas.
I know, right? Just a little kid pulling on my leg.
This episode already derailed a different conversation.
Let's get going. Okay, let's start. Let's start at the beginning of our day. Tips and tricks. I am gonna head over. Let's start with the men. Mm-hmm. Okay, men, tips and tricks is when a photographer asks you, for your getting ready photos and they give you like an outlandish time. So if your ceremony's not till 3 and they ask you, hey, we're getting ready at 10 a.m. Okay, you do not have to stay in your clothes all day. Right? Getting ready photos, depending on the photographer and the wedding party side, size, it can be anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour, whatever your photographer needs from you. But basically, you guys can get dressed up and then undress, go for breakfast, go for lunch, do whatever you want. And just so you know, boys, it's like very crucial that you guys are all ready to go when that photographer walks through the door. So depending how they want to do it, but have your details. And a lot of guys don't think of this, and if you've never kind of shot a wedding, you may not know, but this goes for girls. Or you never got
married, you might not know.
Exactly, right? So if you have something important, I've had a groom before, he had like a 100-year-old pocket watch. Make sure you have that out, have that ready, right? Any of your little details, even a boutonniere, if the bride trusts you with that ahead of time.
That is true. And also in terms of just knowing, okay, like you don't have to be ready, but have the details ready, right? So your ties and your socks and your belts and your, the gifts that you have for your groomsmen, if you have one. And also just those little details adds up a little bit more. And maybe if there's a note from your bride, like you keep that note ready.
Keep it.
When those happen, when we get ready to get those shots, those are ready to go. And then, it's just efficiently to the next one. Yeah,
absolutely. And like if you guys are exchanging notes or presents, a lot of guys just get it and rip it open. No, just hang tight. Save all that cute stuff for us.
100%. And also, again, in terms of the guys too, the guys getting ready is going to be so fast compared to what the girls are going to go do, right? Yeah. So the girls are up at like 6 and 7 a.m. starting to get makeup on and get their hair and everything done. Guys, you're going to sit down, just chill and have a couple beers. And that's part of the moment too. And that's the start of the day for you guys. So you got to start enjoying that. And then, once you have whatever you need planned out, that initial part is just with the boys and just hang out and do whatever, right?
But do you have like your shaving, your hair done, that kind of personal
stuff,
grooming,
100%.
have that done? Because if we decided that we want that for a photo, we're just gonna fake it. To be honest,
totally. And we like, there's so many times we're just like, can you just put your shaver right next to you as if you're getting ready?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
100%.
We try. Honestly, I as much as I think I know about men, we try to make it quick and painless when it comes to photos. seems to bode them well.
Oh man, what's the next step? Maybe for the girls.
Okay, girls, same thing. So you've got shoes, you got bracelets, you've got necklaces and earrings and a garter. You've got a veil, you've got flowers. Put all that stuff together in a bag and have a sticky note or label it for your photographer and have it wherever your dress is,
Right.
ready to go. And I always like to tell brides, have a bridesmaid's dress beside yours too, just to incorporate the color. Also too, if the girls, your bridesmaids are getting their dress hemmed and they have extra fabric from their bridesmaid's dress, just request that they keep it, because sometimes it's fun to wrap the end of your bouquet in it, or to kind of just use it for flat lays of your detailed shots just to get the color in it.
100%.
A lot of people don't know that, but I actually it's kind of like a cute little feature to add. And another thing too is bring one of your invitations that you sent guests, if you can, if you're into that. Include that also in the bag, right? And then some people go, I'm wearing Birkenstocks. I'm like, well, we'll still get stylish picture because that's what you actually wore on that day.
And again, it's what you've planned for the day. We're just capturing. We're not trying to create anything there, right? So it's everything that was happening leading up to the day.
Still gonna
whatever you got
magic.
planned. Exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
But
create magic. 100%.
Just magic every time. So when your photographer comes in and you're in the middle of getting your hair done or your makeup, or you're just busy, you're not running around yelling at your bridesmaids to try to find all of your things. Because let's get real, who's ever been to getting ready with the girls that is really organized? Never. Unless they have my tips and tricks, then maybe they can survive. Yeah. And another thing too, with your flowers, to have those ready for the getting ready. You can have them in vases, stuff like that. Another one is have good hangers, bride and groom, for your outfits. A lot of time we come in and we've got that ratchet clear hanger, and I'm searching through somebody's house for a wooden hanger and I can't find it. Yes, I'm just running through people's closets and just destroying everything like a tornado, trying to find it. This year, my clients, I've got you covered. I just went out and I bought a bunch because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does.
The hanger. Oh man. Because again, it's part of the photo too, right? And again, the photos are clicked and then they're ready to go. Now you have that for the rest of your life. So. And again, also talking about moving from just before the getting ready, I guess, since we're talking about a note that I thought about it. Again, boys and the girls, like both of you, start like a little note that you want to write. It could be outside of your vows too, right? So something that you want to do, again, from a video perspective.
Adding emotion to your video, we need something to happen.
The first set of contact on the day of that you both are going to have is through that note. And anything that cute you want to write, anything that you want to say.
It could be as short as like, can't wait to see you.
100%. Right? And that adds to the photo and the video too.
Absolutely.
Let's say you have a note with 3 lines that your bride gave you and we can make you read it, and then something that adds that excitement to the day.
And sometimes I've seen people give like boudoir photos and stuff. We're not gonna get that in our video because I'm like, I don't know who's watching it. Don't worry, we will tastefully work with that.
And it's just, again, that's it, you don't have to read it, or you don't have to. It doesn't have to be on camera, but it's just your reaction to it adds a little bit more to.
It's actually like just such a. The more that you can get those tiny little smiles and like curate the candid works so good, especially when there's videos that you're in love with that you see. What did you like about that video? Oh, just how happy and magical that day seemed. Yeah, like Rhoni said, those little tiny notes, and it doesn't even have to be much, right?
So from there to maybe getting in the dress, and of the bride getting in the dress, and how do we time that? Like usually we try to get that done at a good amount of time so she's not in the dress too long before the ceremony in the first
okay
look.
So getting ready photos for girls are a lot longer than guys because they're quite quick and girls are not. Everyone feels differently about this topic, but personally, I know I'm not a bride, just forever a bridesmaid, but I often tell brides that have your makeup done first. That better? Okay, have your makeup done first, and
just move it down.
Oh, okay.
It's like blocking your face. There.
Perfect. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, have your makeup done first, because I don't know how many pictures you actually want without your face on, and then get your hair done. And then it gives you time too. Like if you're hiring a makeup artist, they know how to make that makeup last all day. The 1 hour that you think it's going to make a difference, it won't. it's not like you're sweating in it or anything like that. So have your makeup done first. You have a whole entire hour to change your mind if you want anything changed. Because I think makeup plays a huge part. There's hair, but makeup does too. So if you want anything changed, you have a lot of time. Have your makeup done, then get your hair. You don't want to, girls, you don't want to be the bride, the last one to get everything done, because you're actually the one that needs to be in a lot of the getting ready photos. So we will get a really cute shot of you getting your hair done. We'll get a really cute shot of you getting your makeup done. But I'm guessing when you think of in terms of pictures, you don't need 50. You don't need to hire a photographer to be there for an hour while you get your makeup done. You probably won't use all those pictures in an album. So have your makeup and hair done. We can kind of fake a couple getting ready photos, but your main meat of really good getting ready set of photos is getting the dresses on, those kind of first looks. You're interacting with your bridesmaids. So make sure ahead of time you kind of know, do you want mom to put you in your dress? Do you want your sister? Do you want your grandma? Do you want one of your friends, one of your bridesmaids? So whoever that person is, they need to be ready to go to put you in your dress and be completely dressed themselves for that time. And let them know ahead of time, because a lot of times we see that the mom's like, no, I'm not ready. And we're just kind of sitting there for 20 minutes while she finished getting ready for that photo.
Right.
So just the idea of like who you want to do those things. And if you have multiple people, someone else can help you with your necklace. Someone else can kind of touch up your makeup. Someone can fluff your dress, help you with your shoes. So just in your mind, you can kind of grab, oh, what kind of photos do I want? Who do I want in them?
Right. That is a lot of info. That is she just went on. I love it. So from the getting ready and then go out in the dress, now going into the first look. Right. So going to the first look, what are some of the things from a photographer perspective you want to show?
That are important? Okay, so here's another
I've got a couple in the video side too, but yeah.
On the video side. Another thing is you could do a note. You could do your vows here. You could go back to back and read notes, right? And or you can just do the tap on the bum or the shoulder and do the turnaround. Make sure when you do the turnaround, you kind of have something you want to, like, I'd pre-think of a couple sentences you maybe want to say to the person, because sometimes it's just like, here I am. Here you are. Let's try people.
Let's well, again, first of all, they're flabbergasted just how beautiful they look. Yeah. But second of all, it does, again,
it adds a little bit if you have something to say.
It's just so much more, right? So it's not, you're not saying a lot. It's a couple sentences that adds to it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, again, naturally,
some people are talkers, some people aren't.
Some people aren't. Like sometimes once this is something that happened in the first look. So once the first look happens, the bride taps on the shoulder or anything, and then the groom turns around and immediately they go in for a kiss. But if you're the groom, how about you admire her for a second? Like just take an up and down look and look at how beautiful her dress is. She's putting some effort for that dress and the makeup and the hair and everything that's on her. Days and hours of effort. So how about take that all in of what she's done and then going for the kiss? It's a whole different feel, right?
Absolutely. So. And then don't be afraid to just kind of grab each other and grab hands. Like, this is for you. This is your day. A lot of the times these days go by so quickly, and you just need to sneak in those moments when you can.
And then sometimes, again, during that whole first look, everybody around you, photographer, videographer, we all just go mute. Like, we just want you to have the moment, and we're just the fly on the wall trying to capture what's happening, absolutely. Right? So, like, just forget everything that's around you. Just be in that moment and admire that moment, and then from there we just lead off from there, right?
Yeah. So. And if you're kind of a couple, that is a little bit nervous about even a first look and wanting to make the most of it, like we said, maybe that's where you do your vows. Get all the nerves. Like, if you're someone that's really nervous and you don't like public speaking, vows at a first look is you're still going to have it recorded. We record 100%. It. And yeah, it's still going to be really magical.
And something that we've been thinking about right now is if you have vows before your first look, we want you to do the vows before you see each other, but right next to each other. Mm-hmm. For example, your backs are to each other, or we put you in a spot where your corners are, and where you can almost hold hands, but you can't see each other just yet, and then you do your vows, and you can hear both of you, and then both of you can hear each other. And then once your vows are done, and hopefully you're bawling your eyes out, magical. and then you turn and then you look at each other and then just imagine.
That is my favorite part of videography is the fact that you can go back and you can hear it. Like you
Oh,
can
100%.
literally relive that moment.
Oh, it is again, and that's what we're trying to create, right? Is to make that moment as special as possible too, right?
I just love it. I really do. First looks too. If you, I don't know, some people are so against it. And I've had a conversation with someone and they had a 4:00 ceremony and they were like, no, we're not doing your first look, but we want dinner at 6. I'm like, ooh, with a big bridal party. Like, I just don't know how to fit in all these pictures.
100%. And that's something practically you need to sort of look at
Yeah.
logistical wise, right? So let's say you have anywhere between 3 to 4 people even in your bridal party each, then you need time to take photos and videos
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
be able to not rush to everywhere
Yeah.
you're trying to go
And
to.
even this bride that I was talking to with this 4:00 ceremony, she's like, no. And I was like, okay, so what are you hesitant about doing first look? Because I'm just kind of looking at your day here. And she said, the first time I want him to see me, I want him to see me when I come down the aisle. And then I said, yeah, okay, no problem. Could we do the first look down the aisle and have your bridal party and maybe your mom and dad and his mom and dad there? And she kind of looked at me. She's like, yeah, that'll work. And she's like, yeah, those are the closest people to me. And I get to savor that moment. And I get the down the aisle look. She's like, yeah, no, that's awesome. Then we had so much time to work with.
Right. And again, it's understanding what they want and how we can get that done at the same time. Try to timeline wise fit everything in.
That's like a whole
right?
nother episode. Timeline, and we help you with that.
Timeline is like a 2 or 3 episodes on its own.
I
Man.
know. I feel like a wedding planner when it comes to timeline.
And again, and that's because we are there pretty much the entire day there, right?
Yeah.
So like we start the day around 9:30, 10-ish, and then we go until 9 p.m. at night before your party just about starts or just after,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
when we're spending that much time, we just want to make sure we are able to put everything into our cameras before we leave, because once we leave there's no rewind button.
Well, and it's, as an artist, and like when we think at the end of the day, when you, Rhoni, think about the video that you want to provide, and I think to myself, the gallery I want to give, I am always thinking, do I have enough content? So sometimes we throw different ideas at you guys because we know those are content like grabbers. We know happy things, magical things are going to happen when we kind of throw different ideas at you for your day.
And again, when we try to get everything possible is because we want to give you everything possible too,
absolutely.
right? So like every day, everything that happens during the day. So moving on from first look to ceremony. So little things that I'll talk about ceremony. I got a couple of things.
You do.
First off, in terms of how you do your seating, when you plan your seating for your ceremony. So most of the time, people, what they do is try to, if the bride's standing on the left and the groom's on the right, and they try to put the groom's family on the right side and the bride's family on the left side, and just parallel to them and make sure they're standing or sitting right next to each other's side. But what I try to suggest to families and couples is switch that opposite way. That way, if the bride's on the left side and your family's sitting on the right side, they can actually see the bride's face because it's your family and not just see the back of the bride, right? And same
So weird
thing with
that
the groom.
you know that. I've never thought of that.
And like in a sense, like also when it's the groom, put your groom's family on the left side if the groom's
That
standing on
actually
the right.
makes so much sense.
Because in your head, you're the family and you want to see the face and everything,
that
right?
makes so much sense, because I like run around the couple during the ceremony, and I actually always you get a pretty good vibe of who they're close to in their family, just in the getting ready photos. So I try to shoot through the couple, and the mom's like watching and crying and getting that shot.
And here's a shot, right? So imagine this: you're trying to capture the bride listening to the groom's vows, and you're trying to capture, the family actually watching the bride lose her crap and crying, and then the family is losing their shit, and so you're trying to capture it through. Now you have a perfect view for us to do it, and then it's just much more powerful. Then they're seeing your back and they can't see your emotions because they're facing your back.
So basically, what you think, crisscross that.
Crisscross that 100%.
Yeah. Bride's family on groom's side, groom's family. Okay. And then
it's just a little thing, right? It doesn't make sense, but why you do that, then you realize, oh, holy crap, that's why I want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. But I am going to tangent off that and say, ultimately, like that would be your mom, dad, grandpa, immediate family that's important for. The rest of the crowd, I like it when they're even sides. I don't want it to be like my big fat Greek wedding.
Right.
2 on this
Right.
side, overfilled on this side. It's awkward for pictures.
So let's equal it out. Again, you don't
And-
choose
yeah.
a doesn't
And
have to choose a side. Just choose a seat.
You don't
right?
need a seater. I honestly will quickly look at the situation as a photographer, and I don't mind asking people from the back if they don't mind sitting on the other side. I've done it before. Just when the bride walks down, you don't want her to like pass all these empty chairs. Like
100%.
I always make sure that's even. Not afraid to ask.
100%, and try to even out the guests who's sitting down to you, because it's only the first row, maybe the first 2 rows that matter real close to you, and then the rest of them are friends and whoever, they can sit pretty much either sides and make sense that way, right?
Okay.
So
Ooh, my other one. I mean, I'm pretty on top.
She's
of
excited
saying
about this one.
Excited. Okay, you're officiant or pastor or minister. First kiss. I'm totally going to ask them, but I mean, you should definitely mention it in case your photographer doesn't. Ask them to step aside. Yes, please. Nothing worse than you guys pulling apart for all these cute kissing pictures and someone's just staring into my camera. It's so awkward.
just right in the middle, there's just
Just like
efficient.
us.
They're as happy as they are for you, but they're staring at you kissing.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's
in the
just
photo.
a little weird.
If you're
And
not
again, it's just
naturally blocking them. I've seen some things.
but in a sense, nowadays, again, we tell officiants too, like, hey,
They know.
right when
Good ones know.
exactly right when, but you're telling them about the first kiss, just you may now kiss the bride, and then they step away, and then you guys going for the kiss. It's beautiful photos.
I know.
Beautiful,
There's
right?
some officiants I absolutely love, and like, okay, I gotta mention one. She's my homegirl.
Absolutely.
Barbara Ross.
Yes.
Just a name. Do you know who she is?
I think we've worked on 6 different weddings with her.
Love
actually,
Barbara Ross because I did a wedding with her back in the fall. And I recommended her for the bride and groom, and I didn't get her in a freaking photo. I mean, I got her in a few, but I mean, the kissing and the signing, oh my gosh, she was like invisible.
Oh, we gotta love
She really
Barb.
was. Like she was just kind of a random person to the couple. Like she wasn't family. She wasn't someone, she wasn't someone important to them.
Yeah.
So she made sure that the important people were in the photos and she was aware of where she was in the situation.
100%.
Never met someone that can move so fast. Yeah. Barbara Ross.
Oh man, again, and it's the officiant who gets to sort of marry you guys and everything. They're important to you, but at the same time, there are some moments that you want just you two and everything, right? So,
but at the same time, that's not gonna ruin your photos. I don't want you guys to get too in a knot about that officiant. I told her to get out of my photo, and she did not move fast enough. Don't worry about it.
I think at this point we're nitpicking it just a tad bit. That about who's involved and who's not.
We're the bridezilla. We've done it so many times. We know what we want. We're the bridezilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
we're like, we know exactly what you want. Trust me.
Yeah, just let me tell you.
So from ceremony moving into, let's say, cocktail hour and before that.
Jump back to ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay. This one's for the bridesmaids. Like photographers don't come to your rehearsal, right? Okay, so things we can say to the bridegroom, bridal party, anybody walking down the aisle, mom, dad, anyone. Okay, as you're walking, it is not a race. Pace yourselves out. I've seen some men like pretty much hugging each other's butts as they like walk down the aisle. And I was like, well, didn't catch that.
Hugging each other's butts. That's an image I got to get out of my head.
No. Are you looking at your phone for that?
No.
Are you
I'm
Googling?
Not. No.
Ronnie's Googling hugging butts. Okay. Ronnie, put it down. Ronnie.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
As he flips his phone over. I'll do it later. Okay. So slow it down. And also, girls, this is my biggest tip. I always go through this with everyone walking down the aisle. Like I quickly just kind of give them my tips and tricks. And then I like, okay, don't fall. And then I walk away. And I make them so nervous for fun. But girls, when you're holding your bouquet, the tip sounds so dirty. The tip of your bouquet goes to your crotch.
That is true.
Yeah. Tip of your bouquet to your crotch. And
both hands hold and then down here. Yeah.
Down to your crotch.
Not midway, not too higher.
And I don't want to, like, the idea is I want to see the face of the flower. So good rule of thumb is the tips to the crotch
That is true.
area. Right.
And that you'll hear her say that many times at the ceremony
the
too.
tips. So in the middle of the ceremony, somebody from somewhere is whispering the tips.
Wait, this is an ASMR episode.
No, you know what's really
tips.
funny is because the people I've ever shot, the brides that know me are just dying right now.
Oh, I
Like,
bet.
oh yeah, I remember that. Just joking.
Oh man, what was who were we working with? There was one more you and Thera. Oh my god, Thera's photography. So this is the true story. Sidetrack. Silas went to this wedding. Again, captured everything. Came back. He was editing the teaser, and he's laughing his ass off. I'm like, what is going on? Like, Thera is absolutely hilarious. I'm like, what do you mean? This is how she actually directs people for photos. And he literally plays on the clip. It is way too NSFW for me to say it on this podcast.
Oh my
way
gosh.
too explicit. But the amount of time she repeats it, she goes crotch to butts, butts to crotches.
Oh,
The
I
amount
do
of sin.
that. I go D
No,
to V,
no,
D
she
to
doesn't
V.
say crotch or she doesn't say
Oh, yeah,
butts.
I know. Yeah, I
And I'm
do
like,
that as well.
Thera, and everybody's just following her as they're
makes
speaking.
sense.
And I'm like, oh my God, Thera, what's going on?
Yeah.
But no, it is hilarious. You and Thera both are
I know.
absolutely hilarious.
I'm like, he should feel your nipple. He should. Okay, nipples together, breastplate.
this
get up
episode
on
just
there.
got R-rated.
Nipples not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, back to where we were going with this.
Sidetracked too hard.
Yes.
Go on.
Anyway,
Yeah.
fun
It's-
fact
it's-
about flowers too. They have like little juices. Make sure before you're running down the aisle or you're getting into the vehicle to head to the ceremony, wipe them off with a towel, like the ends of your flowers, just because with some fabrics,
they
those
stick
juices will,
onto.
they'll kind of stain
And
it.
that's the stem of it at the bottom
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So just cautious about that.
And nowadays, again, the bouquets are a little more stylish too. Like they have rings.
They have all sorts of fun
like
stuff.
all sorts of fun stuff too,
Yeah.
right? So now holding that, we try to teach you when we see what you kind of things you have. We tell them, okay, this is how you hold
Ooh,
it. It's walking down the aisle.
Boutonnieres. Do you know they make them with magnets now?
That is true. You don't have
know.
to stand there, the safety pin,
yeah.
poke the chest a couple times.
Every single wedding, I put on all the boutonnieres, or I teach the one guy to help me that's really competent.
You know
and
what
we
I do?
it together.
Now we're going back all the way to getting ready. The amount of times I had to tie a tie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God. I love it.
I love
And
it.
the amount of times the groomsmen
Yeah.
are actually going through YouTube, how to tie a tie.
I always get that on camera. They're in a little. It's the same. They huddle into a group, and they start all watching it. And then one guy's like, "I got it, and the other guy's like, "No, you
No, you
don't."
don't.
It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
every
it's
single
like, it's a
time.
Windsor knot. No, are we doing a Windsor? No, it's a half Windsor. What are we doing? What's a Windsor?
Oh my God, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, we could do.
Gotta
all
love
this.
it. Oh
We
my
could do it.
God. Like now we just went way
And
back
you-
to the start of the day.
And you gotta remember, like 3 to 4 are in their boxers walking around.
That
trying
is
to tie
true.
dye.
That is
Yeah.
true. And you should, like, one dude's out in the mirror trying to tie the tie, another
And,
dude's
and
watching
the
the YouTube
competitive
video.
one will always come out.
The groom's like, I'm friends with these people.
Yeah,
I am
know.
friends with these people.
Yeah, exactly. I love it though. And then someone's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna call so and so."
And then here comes rescue, the groom's dad,
Yeah.
to help tie the tie.
You always go for the older people. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They've got the experience.
I just laughed so hard with the boutonniere because you get to like if they tried themselves, I'm like, oh my, this is
amount of-
fun.
And the amount of time, like, we've tried not to poke the groom with, or the dad or anybody with the groomsmen with the boutonniere and the
Yeah.
safety pin. I'm
And
like, I
honestly-
gotta make sure I don't poke them.
Girls, what the guys, you know what? This could be its own episode, but pack some extra pins for them too, because they're totally going to drop them with their big fingers and not find them. And then they're going to think it's not important and the flowers are falling off.
I got an idea for an episode.
Yeah.
An entire checklist.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
make an entire checklist for an episode.
I think we could do that.
That
to
is
keep ourselves
awesome.
on track or for the group.
Keep us on track.
Yeah.
And for them as well. Like, that's what we'll do. But
Okay,
again, I
well,
think we're going to have to do the whole tips and tricks on a whole nother podcast.
I think
so
isn't the whole podcast tips and tricks always?
That is true. And on a grander scale, it is, right?
Yeah.
But I guess we'll do another part 2 of tips and tricks
Yeah,
because
we're
we've
gonna
only
have
gone
to.
through ceremony. We haven't even gone through the evening yet.
Well, I'm like sure there's way more. Than
There's
that.
way more that we'll come back to, I guess, too. So that is episode number 3 that we get talking. And oh my God, that's almost 30 minutes up right now.
know.
So this is episode 3 of Tips and Tricks part 1
Hope
of
we
the
have
For the
our
Record
5
podcast.
listeners.
All 5 were watching.
Yeah,
Better-
it's probably Mark Finney, Mark Will. Oh, we haven't mentioned Mark Willis this time.
We haven't. Well, we did now.
Checklist. There's that checklist. Got it. Done.
So we'll have a pop quiz about these episodes to those 5 listeners later on. But
Okay, did Mark Willis transfer you the money for the sponsorship?
I don't think I got the money yet.
No. Okay, let's ask Mark Finney if he wants in.
Yeah, we could talk about them enough anyway. So
Yeah.
that's end of episode number 3 for the Record podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Ciao.